Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And what you just saw was the beautiful work of our lovely guest. Elsa Dillon has been on the show so many times. She actually has her own podcast, and the few collections that I have got going here. It's always so much fun to have Elsa join. She joins us from Australia. She's a experiencer, contactee, and a family of 10 down under, and they live a natural life, and it's always so awesome to connect with Elsa because she has such wisdom, and every age group is represented in her family, so you can really get a sampling of what and how things work and how to really help yourself and communicate as these spirits evolve around us. So I'm so happy and excited to welcome Elsa Dillon back on the show. How are you today, Elsa?
Thanks, Mila, for having me. It's always so much when we meet
Mhm.
happens between, so it's nice.
Yeah.
It's 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 interesting because even though we're open to all the information, we still get amazed and impressed and excited,
Yeah.
and it keeps us going. I guess it keeps us smiling and inspired for our family because sometimes you just feel like you're trudging through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got the gumboots to do it, like I'm trudging through it. But yeah, you just yeah,
And those are
just
like rain boots
the
for
rain.
those of you who don't speak Australian.
Yeah, to speak Australian. Yeah, the gumboots. So yeah, they're my favorite. But if I could wear them shopping, I would.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
we had a great group with Mila yesterday morning here. It was nice,
Yeah.
and I hope
That was a lot
everyone
of fun.
has a few people they can talk to or share with because I think it's part of the essential thing to do in this way now is get together with a few like-minded people and just vent basically or debrief or share family
Yeah.
experiences openly and kindly and with manners and not not dumping on each other but definitely yeah, just unpacking what's going on in your life a little
Yeah.
bit, but not in a way where you tell your whole sad story. It's more, and then this, and then they say, then that, and then it sort of it integrates.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. It's like the visual I've always seen it as, and it's not as grotesque as I'm gonna make it be, because bodily excretions actually don't bother me. That's
Ah!
actually why I went into medicine for a while. Was like it wasn't. I'm not squeamish, but so to me it doesn't seem like a gross reference. But it's like every we get together and then we kind of like vomit ourselves onto the table, and then someone else vomits themselves onto the table, and then everybody kind of like mixes it around, and then you find out that every one of us have all these different pieces of the grand puzzle that we all share. And it's a beautiful sharing and space keeping. It's like container that we each one at a time as we join create. It's and there's this thing. This is a mystery I had discovered how to unlock when I was like I was probably, I think I was 21. And it's that when we're over consumed by something, when we have a lot of things to consider, or perhaps it's just a lot of different traumas, or whatever it is that you want to call it, then the thought itself looks like this. It's all wadded up. You can only see like a couple of like parts of it, and usually it's the problem. But if you're talking with somebody else, then what you do is you lay it out as a whole conversation. You guys can't see that whole strand, but and it gives you it helps you to see the whole thing, and that makes it possible to then become aware of the world that you're even in. to what they would call probably as problem solving, when I feel like it's just shifting perspective to see the reality that you're in, you know. And all of these awesome kinds of things happen in these groups, and so I've been doing this since I actually started. The very first meeting I did was on a Tuesday, and it was February 22nd, 2022. So it was like 2/22/20/22 on a Tuesday. And that was when I started to do it openly, or without, like I did it with Guardian and a couple other people that we were close to. And from that time, we've done it every week. I think we missed like a couple of weeks. And to watch the people open up and that come, to watch them find their power just by listening, and I love it. The moment that a person decides to speak, because some people will come and just listen for a long time. And when they decide to speak or turn their camera on, like, that is I am so honored to be in the role that I am, and that we get to share in this safe place and not have judgment and ostracization. And, we're supported and loved unconditionally. It's really cool. So anyway, thank you for bringing that up, because I just love this topic, because it's what part of my heart is giving people the container to have a voice. Because once you start using your voice, that's when you find out all this cool stuff. It's removing the bar from your voice. And that's every Wednesday. And we're doing it today. I forgot. I haven't done a link yet. We are doing a group today in an hour, or excuse me, in 2.5 hours from now. So is that right? Yeah, that's right. 2.5 hours from now, that group starts. In fact, we actually made a vote. It's not going to be on the half hour anymore. It's going to be at 5 o'clock. That's right. The last group. Okay, excuse me, guys. I'm having a lot of ascension symptoms going on. I know everyone else is too. Like, I saw a bunch of stuff in the thing, like just super. Anyway, so please know we are going to meet in 3 hours. There we go.
So this is what we talked about yesterday. Is we talked about how, well, first of all, we talked about a bit about the solar flare, because it had these weird black things.
Yeah.
Like, but it's had black lines before, but now it's getting bigger. And
Yeah.
it's like the solar flare charts are reflecting society and Earth's energy.
Yeah.
And there's no coincidence. It's reflecting us. So whether we're doing it or it's doing it to us, it's happening. You said, I was saying it's the last solar flare looks like a bite, and then I realized that I had just done my birthday, which was 15th of June, and it's about Born Free, the lioness. That's what I was named after, and it looked like her teeth, the lioness teeth. So it's up here in the crown chakra where you voice. So this is important that you brought this up, Mila. Then you got the two black lines. So when it was happening, we couldn't see the second fully black line, but I think it only came through as small. Yet when it was coming through, it was a block. It was weird.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So they
changed it, or because I've been asleep.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
So this is something we've been getting for a little while, that they're going to start to like censor. I talked about this with some people on Sunday. They're going to start to censor I guess that was Monday for you, the solar activities, just like they had started doing with the Schuman. Those of you who were following the Schuman pre-2021, there was a lot more we could see on the Schuman. They used to point out the location of where it's coming from. They, and it was I don't remember the month, but it was still winter. It was early spring, if it was spring at all, on this hemisphere, 2020. And there was a spike, and this is the first time I actually noticed that we can change and cause the Schumann to spike, Elsa. was, so typically we were between 4 and 14 on the Schuman at back then at that time. And then whenever it was, there was this big pilgrimage to Joshua Tree by a lot of people that were going there to do a group meditation and intention setting to heal the planet and the people on the planet. And I was going to go, but then we ended up finding out we were about to lose our land and become homeless at the beginning of lockdown. So I didn't get to go, but the Schumann spiked to 800, Elsa. It spiked to 800. And back then, you were able to see where the spike was coming from. And I checked, it was coming from the same, it was Joshua Tree. It would have been exactly where I would have been. So that's why I knew it was there. That's why I knew, I made that connection only because I had planned to go and wasn't able to. That was, ended up being like, I can't remember, like 2,000 people. It was just before they started to limit the gatherings and stuff.
Well, so your date, I'm going somewhere with this, right? So with the Schumann and the marks, the marks got, first they show this way in a cloud or something, and then they do like an echo or repeat. And usually we find the echoes and repeats can be 3 times. It's like the cute humans they need a few extras. Give them a few extras so they get it. Or the shudders, like after an earthquake, there's the tremors afterwards. And sometimes those after ones have more devastating effects. But it's like a Mercury retrograde. It goes that way, then it comes back this way, and then it has like this little tail end at the bottom, and then it's finished. And you're like, what? I'm using the planets to help me explain something that, I felt yesterday with the group, and I've been feeling. I feel like they want us to understand the time stamps to release the time. And that's what you called this session. You called it Odin Time Me. So Odin Time Me is thy me. So Odin, it's Odin ones. That's what that means, that title. And Mila brought up, by the way, 22nd of Feb. So was it numbers are correct. 22 Feb 2020. Is that right? When you started the show? Or was it 22nd of Feb 2022?
22nd of Feb 2022 was the first time I started to do the group.
So I'm positive, I can't pull it up on my computer, but on the 2nd of Feb or the 22nd of Feb 2021 was when lockdown really started here. It was our last photo shoot, and it was of a model my age who is very famous for her chocolate books. And some interesting stuff there. And anyway, the shoot, we had a cloud come over Byron Bay, and it looked like a massive mushroom craft. So many people have photos of it, and it looks like something out of a sci-fi film. I've got images of it I can post later in your Facebook, Mila. And the shoot that we did was for an Italian magazine called the same name as the guy of Matrix. What's his name? Neo. It was called Neo magazine, and the shoot was called Arise. And I feel like it's showing me from that date to Mila's date was like a session.
Right.
And then, so then what we had yesterday in the group, we were bringing up when Odin first came about to now is coming out in the press or in the media. And literally, I did not know who Odin was prior to Mila. I really did not know. I did not. It's pretty foolish of me. I didn't know anything about him, but I didn't. And Mila brought him up like he's my grandpa. I'm going, wow, that's a really cool name. I've heard this name once before with a model. Her name was Ode. So I knew Ode meant old. So I knew it meant something grand, but I didn't know what it was. And I look it up and I'm like, Odin runs a thread all the way through, like the thread that Mila just held up. So where I'm going with this is we are
I'm still playing.
we're markers. Markers.
Right.
Markers. Markers are the Mu's magic. We're the star seed magic. And the trick is to, once you get it and understand it and are conscious of it, not only do you pick up markers in here where you are now, right now, you tap into all of them.
Yeah. 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 Then you get to the quantum multidimensionality of what everything really is really what it comes down to.
Well, then you get to add emotion.
Yeah.
So to add emotion is the emu's power of Odin's.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
because you get to add your air and your water, but then you get to add number 3. Remember, because if the universe is allowed to give us 3 gifts, we're allowed to give it back 3, and this is where the other guys come in, because they don't have their ship. They need our ships to run in.
Right. Just like the Matrix
Yeah,
again.
they need our ships to run in, so they have to come in and run in our ships. Now, the only things they can run in us is sense.
Yeah.
So what do they do on TV? They place images in you.
Yeah.
Tell the E's the vision. Yeah,
Right.
it's amazing.
What is it that right? You
No,
off.
you're right.
You just broached a really fascinating point, because really, if you look at, and this is a general statement, I'm sure that there are exclusions to this, but in a general statement way, what television produces or shows creates in someone is the drive, desire to consume, to collect, to hoard, and to purchase as much as possible, sense, to promote fear, and to teach a false history. That's like the essence of like what they're doing about, this is how you're supposed to be, and like doing the modeling of like how roles of individuals in the world are supposed to behave. And like, I remember there was this big phenomenon, I can't remember what it was called right now, but it was a phenomenon that the scientists gave a word to, of the people who were watching the Bill Cosby show. Those who had stopped, or who had been watching the Bill Cosby show for a short time, who had previously felt themselves to be like racists and all of this other kind of stuff, that once they started to watch the Cosby show every week, they felt that they were inviting those individuals into their home in some way, and so it unprogrammed their belief in that in racism, and they instead included, so this can be done it's so easy to manipulate an individual. And the vast majority of in fact, there was a really big face in Hollywood just recently disappeared. All of a sudden, he's not on anything anymore. He just gone. Like, He was accepting an award, and he spent his speech saying what they're putting on your TV for your kids to look at is making them feel like they have to purchase in order to be good enough. They're the level of consumerism that is in everything that you look on TV right now is over the charts. It's all up, and it's that vicious cycle. The debt, get you in debt and make you get credit cards so you can buy your crap, and then you got to buy storage units to contain your crap, and it's a whole thing. 222. I don't know why I went on that tangent, but
Well, you brought up consume a few times now. So this is Mila. She's going, you didn't get it the first time. Give her another one. Okay. So consume is ease. It's the stem of the ease, and they sew it in, or they're sewn in. And this is where they are. They're sewn in our sides, and they're the inflammation that your body's feeling. And they don't like the solar flares at all. They really dislike the sun, just by the way. They don't like blue light or blue blood, which is what we are. There's things they don't like about us because they can't do it. It's frustrating for them.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find a way around it. They've been doing it for thousands of years. And they most of them have left. These are the remains.
Yeah.
The remains in there. So the remains are replaying every trick they've known. And these ones don't seem to be able to come up with new ones. They're hoping they might, but they're left. It's like they left the third or second in charge left, and the big ones went. Yeah, which is, because if they don't, this could be the end. It could be their I think they call it demise. It could be the end of them. Yeah. So the consume is they need you to continue consuming because that you're behaving like them. And this is not to judge anyone, and it's not a bad thing either to consume. You can consume. Your role with them in you might need to go to that certain point. Like there's no right or wrong in this. And this is what's great with Mila's group yesterday. Mila does by the way, I keep getting Roadrunner. And I was like, what did she just say? I keep getting Roadrunner. And in Australia, I thought Roadrunner was as big as an emu, which is the same as an ostrich.
Right.
And
but
they're little guys.
Yeah, they're just little guys. I was surprised. I didn't know what it was either for a while. I had to look it up. And I didn't trust my answer for a while because I was like, I mean, it feels like I'm like, in the land of like dwarven, roadrunners. They're just little.
Well, then I said, so you have Roadrunner, and then you have a Coyote, and Coyote is a wolf or prairie dog. Then it hit me. Roadrunner is like an emu in its shape. It's just a shrunk one. And Coyote, but they stand them up. They stand all the animals up. They stand the Bugs Bunny up. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. They stand them up in Disneyland too. This is our DNA. And you're going to go, really, Bugs Bunny? And I'm going to say, yeah. They stood us up. They cut a few vertebrae off our tail. And this is, I'm pretty sure this is affected our memory.
Yeah.
Which then affects your tail here at this end. Right. And you see in a lot of spiritual things, you see the serpent and it goes around and then it bites its own tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. that symbol now has a whole nother meaning because maybe
that's also the never-ending story, and that's what she's watching right now. I can hear the music.
Well, the never-ending story is a white dog, little white dog, but really it's a
Yeah.
lion. You go to
Falcor.
Falcor, you go to Falcor's huge in all cultures. Every
Yeah.
single culture has a Falcor version, and
Right.
I think it's the lion that has like feathers as well as fur. It's amazing, but it's a serpent type, which then goes into the indigenous. It's the rainbow serpent. It's the spined ones. That's us. We are spined
Right.
ones, and the reason man's best friend, he's so happy, is because he still has his tail. He's
Yeah.
okay with it all because he hasn't had it docked. Docked.
Right.
Mila, docked. The word docked. Docked is birth at the her birth. Docked. I know, right?
Really?
Yeah. Our emblem in Australia is an emu and kangaroo. Kangaroo, I'm going to say, is coyote, because kangaroo is the thylacine, which is the original wolf of the world. It's the first wolf. And the first, a thylacine, which they say is extinct, yet I've seen it. My family's
Right.
seen it, and so many others have seen it. And we're not in Tasmania either. They call it Tasmanian tiger. But the thylacine back legs.
The Tasmanian Devil's also a Merry Melody cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. I got something. So the thylacine, the back legs is a kangaroo. When you see how it moves, it hops at the back. So it looks almost like it's been hit by a car. That's how I found them on the road, because
Really?
I thought it was two wild dogs hit by cars. And then I saw them
Right.
with the triangle marks down their back, and I was like, that doesn't look like a dingo or dog. What is that? And then I looked it up, and there was reports of thylacine in the area by crazy people like me. And then I actually realized that the end of the thylacine is kangaroo. So we have emu or roadrunner and coyote as our emblem.
Really?
Yeah, that's our like coat of arms.
That's your emblem?
Yeah, on our
Wow.
I know, right? And I just went, they have to show us in mockery.
Yeah, they do.
Or they have to acknowledge it. Otherwise, other things don't happen for them. And this is how they've got far to this point. And this is why, by us acknowledging Odin, by us acknowledging thylacine and kangaroo and dragon and dinosaur, by us acknowledging them, by me acknowledging Neff, by you saying he's my grandpa, you're not hanging on to it. You're not walking around the shopping centre with a big shaft going, I'm
Right.
Odin's granddaughter. Be gone. You're not doing this.
Be gone with you.
The line shifts and you're first at the line. You're not doing anything like that, although that would be entertaining.
That would be funny.
Especially
I'll have another.
she goes, there's that lady again. Look, she's got a cloak.
So you know, I am listening. I want you guys to know I'm listening to Elsa, and Elsa, I'm listening. I'm making the Zoom meeting for you guys.
She's so cute.
So
Multitasking. And she's cooking with her feet. She's stirring a pot. And squeezing orange juice over
here. Did you see that? Could you hear that?
No.
That was weird. As soon as you started talking, all of a sudden I had 3 different YouTube channels pop up behind me, start playing.
Really? 3?
So I had all these different voices overlapping. Anyway, excuse me. Go ahead.
3. Okay, so it's overlapping. This is I'm going to take that gift too, Mila. This is an overlapping I'm hoping this will create shudders for everyone, because it's time that you align with others. It's time you align with your past. It's time you align with your karma. It's time now in ones to align with the markers of you, whether that's now,
Yeah.
in the future, in the past. It doesn't matter. Just allow the markers. You don't have to wear them. Just allow them.
Yeah.
Let them move through your emotions, and they might have to go down and up, or they might go side to side. There's no right way or wrong way. And start using the gifts of you, because it will get easier. Things will present for you. At first, you'll probably start scratching your head and going, oh, I'm really starting to look like those two I've been watching for the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you'll doubt it, and you'll question it, and your family will start thinking you're weird. But if you start getting a smile and it feels good, and you start looking younger, maybe your way, your improvement will, this person that you've been trying to help or assist or heal, maybe you've got a sick child or a sick puppy, or the neighbor next door is not well. Maybe by you being the best version of you, the fullest gifts of you, will then inspire them to do it. And this is what happens, the overlapping. This is intelligence.
And this is overlaps.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Like this image behind me.
Yeah.
The Vesica Pisces is what it creates, and that's the most sacred of all sacred geometry shapes. It's the only one that can make every other shape. It's the seed. It's the portal in which you look through and decipher reality through your eyes. This is also a Vesica Pisces right here, your eyeball. The projector. This actually leads me to a question that I actually realized a couple of just recently. I know you offer sessions, and I was wondering, because we never really talk about it, and it never, so people may not know, what is it that you do when people join you for sessions?
Well, that's what, when I said I'm going to do sessions, the kids are like, session what? What are you going to do? And I said, well, I'll kind of do what I've done with you all your life. And they go, oh, really? You're going to make people do chores? I was like, no, the other part. So I'm going to listen to them and hear what they've experienced and feel it with my emotions. And then this is where part of this marker or the tells of us happen. And so good that you asked. Thanks for asking, because it helps, even just talking about it helps me to understand what we do. Is I run up and down my spine a lot, and I feel niggles as well. Because sometimes what someone else will say will niggle me, and I go, oh, this is a healing for me. I grab it, and then I spin it at that niggle spot or that uncomfortable spot. And sometimes you'll see me cough a lot, because this is where it comes up a lot for me, in the mucus or phalgum. Funny words. Anyway, so I keep listening, and I keep following the threads, like you pulled the thread, Mila. And I watch whether it's karmic or galactic or now or future, and it's a bit like a mix. It's a mix of all the practices I've learned, sort of mashed in like your background, and then I go, oh, it's that point at the background on the left, and it's there. That's where we got to work first. And in the session, I'll go, it's that little knot there is the spot we're working first, and then we can go over here. And a lot of the time in the sessions, people go, I want to heal this pain that I've been having in my back, or I want to heal this ET experience I've had, but they won't necessarily take me there. They'll take me to another spot to work from there. And then it sort of seems to, like you said, thread all the way through. It's like it was the trigger point or the marker.
Yeah.
So it's like how you see in the ocean, you'll see buoys floating.
Yeah.
That's weird that they have boys floating.
I always struggle to say that word because I feel like I'm not saying it
It,
right.
I used to think, why are you putting? So you're putting suns in the water.
I know.
Yeah. Maybe it's got to do with horizon, like, because that's what they little. It looks like a little sun on the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's working through the emotions. Doesn't
Yeah.
when you work with the emotions, there is no time. It's just a feeling of carrying the plasma intelligence
It's
through. Yeah. Or the
it's Odin
yeah.
time.
It's well, it's O's in. O's
Yeah.
in.
I like
O's
that.
in. Ozone. O's in.
Yeah.
It's a zone.
They just reported that it's been repaired, by the way, all of a sudden. Guess what? The ozone, all better
Oh yeah,
now.
because
Remember how everybody was afraid of the ozone collapsing from her Aquanet? Or they made it so every child thought that there was going to be a quicksand problem. Like if you went out in the world, there's just going to be random places where you're going to fall in the quicksand all over the place. That's what we grew up believing because that's what TV told us.
so you see, you see this old grandmother. She's up there sewing this ozone layer.
Yeah.
Come on, really? No, look,
Yeah.
you if you knew, I'm sure this was the word demise was coming, you would become very desperate.
Yeah.
And we knew this was
No,
coming.
when you said the word demise, excuse me.
Come on, tell me what you're going to say.
When you said the word demise the first time, I don't know if you saw the reaction on my
Me
face,
too.
but uh was
Yeah,
that
it was weird.
you did?
Yeah, it was different.
They had just told me that word.
Who?
Spirit had just told me that. And when I was talking, I always semi
Yeah.
channel when I'm on these things, especially, these shows as well as doing sessions, but like I'm a little bit more in myself when I'm not like in doing meditation, you know what I mean? But anyway, there's a sharing back and forth, and sometimes it's like I choose to accept the words they're giving me, and sometimes I'll like thesaurus it. I'll flip the Rolodex of words, and I didn't use the word demise. And then when you were talking after that, and you said demise, and I was like, and you made a point, you're like, and you stopped and you talked about that
Mm.
word. It's like that word's an important word right now at this very moment.
Okay, well, Demise two mice. Two
Oh,
mice.
look, Dr. Joseph's demise, like
Mice.
those eyes,
Oh yeah.
these
Well,
eyes, and that song's been stuck in my head
ah!
for 3
Is
days.
that a song? Is that a
Huh?
song? Demise.
Yeah. Or well, it's
Oh,
these eyes.
demons. It's demon. Demise is okay. So look, thank you, Dr. Joan. In Demise, it's not a big word, so I can read it really quickly. Because usually he writes one that goes right over the screen. I can only say the first few syllables. Um,
Pardon.
so demise, and yes, so thanks, Mel. So demise is what we spoke about yesterday. So you have come back to Bugs Bunny. So you have the by the way Roadrunner, and literally Roadrunners are really fast because they're like, meow,
It's crazy
meow.
how fast they
Yeah,
go, but they run and stop,
yeah,
and then run and stop,
yeah. It,
and then run. It's like
well, they feel
you got a whole bunch of them doing that everywhere.
they're like time jumpers, right? Because they're like super fast. You can't see them, and they're blurred, and then they stop, and then they make a cute
Yeah,
little noise, meep meep, and then you got the coyote over here, and he's he doesn't give up. He keeps exploding and bombing and burning and parachuting and jumping off cliffs. He doesn't give up. So you got these
yeah,
two characters in us, and they just keep playing it out.
yeah,
And it's kind of like the last few decades we've been Coyote and Spirit's been Roadrunner over
yeah.
here going meep meep. And Coyote's ripping his hair out and everything. But if you can understand the game of the two, then it just is a show for the markers to
Yeah.
see. And you say that
You know
the
what?
coyote.
There is a bunch of coyote here, by the
Oh, you got
way. I
coyote
cut you
too.
off.
You got
We got a bunch of it,
both.
and a bunch of them. You can hear them every night. They start howling. Like sometimes they get close enough that everybody's like, "Are they coming here?" You know, but not. I. He's the trickster. I just wanted to pull his picture up so you guys can. Oh, it's not going to let me show
Is
it
that
to
the
you.
book? Did you open the book?
That's the book.
Oh, so you got to have Odin's music when you open the book.
Yeah. Should we play that? Here, you haven't. Let's grab that real quick. This is fun because a lot of you missed this, so I'm just gonna play it real. This is Elsa's.
So this is what goes.
I always love those. It's so cool that you make those.
This is what goes on in my head, right? So Mila opens the book, and then I have that music in the back. This is the Hollywood of Elsa's head, the Odin, and then I see the two crows, and I see Odin even look down because he wants to see what's in the book. What's the kids found now?
Well, the interesting thing is because you brought up the word demon.
Mm-hmm.
And demon, by the way, connects very easily to the golden compass. And also, if you go to, there's a series that, or you can read the books, but there's a series that they made the whole, all the books into a series called His Dark Material. And boy, oh boy, was that full of code. And Coyote are usually like the soldiers and or the like cops or like some type of like, you know, that's usually the coyotes. The coyote is trickster, and I'm only going to read the poem. There's a lot of really awesome useful information in here, however. And they do say right away a coyote has many magical powers, but they do not always work in his favor. And the poem is, Coyote, you devil. They use the word devil, and they're going back to this demon stuff. And remember that the word devil was something that was invented during the Christian Crusades. And that's a whole different rabbit hole. Coyote, you devil, you tricked me once more. Must I sit and ponder what you did it for? And that's he's the trickster. Usually he's the one that's like fooling everybody, tricking everybody, like the goes in and like he's, you know, the energy that you feel when you know someone's trying to manipulate you, but also playfully. Sometimes it's not always a bad thing. Exactly. Every experience is different. And the Tasmanian devil, I saw that, Sita. The Tasmanian devil also, you know, and there's the devil again, the Tasmanian devil, the Merry Melodies, Looney Tunes.
Well, the
Looney Tunes, Merry Melody, they're both musical.
I know.
Looney Tunes,
Yeah.
Merry Melodies.
It's weird, right? So,
Yeah.
demon is it's the two. It's understanding the two, the dark matter, and the is in the Odins, the ones in the
Right.
suns, the ones. And so, again, it's understanding the show of us or the show of you, and it is
Yeah.
show and tell. You need to act this. If you're not acting the show of you, what are you doing? Whose
Yeah.
story are you living? Are you living a show that you've been taught at school? Like,
Yeah.
really, when you start to think of it, and this is what happens, a lot of people have the dark night of the soul because they've been living something that they've been told, not told in them. A tell isn't
Yeah.
a marker in you. A told is someone else's marker going, you're going to be like this. And this is where you see those Hollywood movies where they look into the mirror and they go, who am I? And I mean, even when you've had dark night of the soul, you still probably do that a lot, like me. But it's okay. Once you've had the biggest ones, I think you're okay because you realize it's okay. And you
Yeah.
start seeing other people go through it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we're meant to. We in order for us to heal through all these different, we need to release it, and we have there's a time to do that, like a perfect window, and that has to do with purging everything, a lot of things. There's a comment here. Boy, I think it. Anna Meta says, "Boy, I think it comes from the Danish word, or from Danish, where the word is boy, which is nearly pronounced like this." I'm curious if you would please, Anna Meta, what is the, um, uh, what does that word mean in the language that you're quoting here? I'm very curious. Um, Elsa, this brought me something that seems random, but I'm just going to do it because it won't be quiet in my head. Because this led to Crow, and from Crow led to Odin again. But the Crow went to. I know it makes little sense, but the red cardinal that has been there's a whole bunch of them that have been hanging out in the yard, and because um, I've been recently planting all of these healing herbs and stuff, and I can hear them talking to each other and gathering around the fence line watching me. They're like, okay, that's where she's putting those seeds. Okay. Okay. And they're telling each other this. And so what I've done is I've gotten some white mesh, and I've just put it over the pots to keep to let the, because I did sprout the seeds, but I want them to give it, because last year the birds got all of my seeds. I'm sure that's what happened. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm bringing this up. This all segues. I was having this session, and um, it seemed really random, but I knew that I was supposed to bring this up to you when talking to you today. Right before we came on, it just wouldn't go away, and so I knew that it was something. And I just passed by a to-do list for shadow work that I wrote back in 2021. That's so funny. Um, anyway, in here I had collected the 30 most. I found it. I was so excited. The 30 most useful local medicinal plants for herbal or holistic healing. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because this is also part of what I know that you do, is you're very well versed in these different medicinal healing, natural healing ways. And, you're an encyclopedia, just like this is. I've been looking for this for so long. You have no idea. And then when I stopped looking, it fell in my lap. Something I wrote back in 2021, the earliest part of 2021. 2020, no, this is 2020. So I might not have actually been off the land yet when I wrote this. I had this feeling that I was like, we might not have access to internet, and I need to be able to have this list. Anyway, so that's why that's.
So yesterday morning, I said to Mila, because I had no internet for a while, and then I could see Mila's messages. And I was like, oh, so I'm back online again. And then I wrote to her, I'm so glad I can read these messages. And then Mila was like, so are we doing this? Are we able to do the show tomorrow? What do you have any ideas with topics? I've got some ideas, but like how Mila and I just prepare. And then I went, oh my gosh, that's what the topic is. It's read. It's read. Um, it's read. I'm gonna jump now. I'm gonna start jumping the string, right? It's reed, it's cane, it's millet, it's connected to humiliation, it's the starches and the sugars, it's how they have controlled our senses through creating consumerism in us so that we consume, and we're so busy consumed with digesting that you forgot about Roadrunner. Meep, meep.
Yeah.
And so
Look at Dr. Joe just said when you said that.
so he acts come to me. So well, this is acme is also frequency as well. See,
Is it also connected to skin,
yeah,
like acne?
yeah, but this is what happens when you have too many starches and sugars. It
Yeah.
surfaces. It's a
Yeah.
deep wound when things start to surface on you. Like if you have a blood nose or you get red marks, that's them. And
Yeah. And babies too. The teeny tiny little
yeah,
zit things on little
or the back of your
babies.
arm.
That's the first sign of
Yep.
it. Yep.
Plantar warts, ringworm.
This is parasites, to be clear. That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
and they're in you. And some of them, they're not. It's not dirty. Some come up through the soil. They're in your animals. You're in your trees, and they're here existing. They have been existing with us. They're not all going to go, and they're not all against
Right.
you. They have served us to a point, but what's happened
Right.
is they've become too many in us. And what happens?
Override.
Overlapping. They've overstood. They've
Yeah.
overstood.
Instead of understood, they've
Yeah.
overstood.
No, God is above another. They're in heaven, in your spleen, in your digestive tract. You go down the rabbit hole with the ankh. You put a mirror down there or stethoscope and see who's in there. There's an imbalance. There is no
Yeah.
such thing as disease. The only
Yeah.
disease, every single disease is traced back to them.
Yeah.
Every single disease. Even if they say it's this, you can trace it back to that.
They're telling people that now
Yeah.
too. They're openly I've seen so many different videos now
Mm.
of doctors speaking out. The lab, can I cut you off for
No,
a
you
second and
got.
tell
Oh,
you
this is
this now?
good.
Okay. They the people in the lab technicians or the people that are work in the labs that run blood samples and stuff like that, where they would send the samples for people who were experiencing MS as well as Parkinson's. Um, if they found a certain number of parasites in your spinal fluid, that would determine how accelerated your MS or Parkinson was.
Yeah.
That's it. So if you have a whole bunch, it's really bad for you. Also, dementia has been linked to parasites around the pineal gland specifically, in different areas of the brain as well. Floaters are parasites, guys. We all have them, but just a lot more of them. They feed off of grain and sugar. Um, we were talking with somebody who, they used to actually burn the cane fields, the sugar cane fields in this place in Australia, um, and they stopped doing it. They were doing it before to get rid of all the parasites that were overriding. They want the parasites already on the sugar when the people are eating it. Like that's my deduction. Um, there's these other doctors. Check this out. This is some whistleblowers. There's these older doctors that are coming forward saying, guess what? If we have 60% of our patients in our clinic, in our doctor's office, if 60% or more have diabetes, they get payout. The doctor gets paid for that. And then every additional person who you have who has diabetes, you get more and more money for each person. So they are really, really motivated to make sure everybody takes the medications that quiet their body telling them to stop, so they'll continue their difficulties. If they would just, you know, do parasite cleanses, cancer. Check
Oh,
this out.
she
I
said
know this is a
the big
bold
word.
statement, but it's over. I said the word, but you know what, dude? It's like they're telling people because somebody in Japan, I believe, maybe it was Taiwan. I'm not that worldly. Um, this person came forward, said, I figured out how to cure cancer. And now it's being leaked. Now it's coming out that cancer is actually parasites.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different kinds of parasites. One of the leading causes for breast cancer, I know this is a bold statement, and I'm probably going to get some few people mad at me, but do your research is all I'm going to say. But what they're showing is that having a mammogram, squishing your boob that hard, bursts a protective sac that contains the parasites. The protective sac is what your body's creating and trying to raise the parasites out of your body. When we continue to add more and more parasites through highly processed and sugar-ridden foods, then our body really can't manage it as well. So we end up having cysts and things. Sometimes they're not there. It's the leftovers of the parasites, and so you're going to have benign cysts. And sometimes they're ravenous and multiplying rapidly, and those are the malignant ones. What do they do in order to figure out if it's cancer or not? They get a sharp stick and they puncture this protective sheath that's around the parasites. This is a parasite sac, and they puncture it, and immediately when they do that, all of a sudden it spreads. Well, of course it spreads. It just broke open its container. So anyway, there's a lot more than those things I just mentioned, but all of those and more are all connected and related to over medicating a culture or a species, as well as the intentional addition of parasites into your body. Okay, last thing I'm going to say. Last thing, promise. We got a teeny tiny little microscope, and there's this thing I saw about Doritos, those really popular corn chips with all the orange powder on it. And so we got it's a brand new bag, right? It's not been messed with in any way. You open the sucker up and stuck a chip underneath this thing. Little teeny tiny parasites. I did this because I heard someone talk about it. And I saw pictures of it. What this person was saying before I did this experiment was that what these companies are doing, the additives, the things that cause you to have an addictive response to their product, is that, well, for one, they remove all nutritional value from it, but then they replace it with a flavor that mimics the nutritional value that your body then expects that it'll get. However, when it doesn't receive the nutritional value, it'll keep wanting you to deliver more, unreceived, and then you end up eating the whole bag. Then why would someone who's not received any nutritional value from something want more of it? All of a sudden, now you have all these little parasites that have been taught to want only that food, that are all in your body. This is a whole thing. That's why all the people that left stock shareholders from tobacco companies and moved to processed foods, that's when this all changed like this. They put parasites in the food on purpose. And it was on the little orangeness that got left on my fingers when I picked the chip up. I put my fingers underneath the microphone or microscope, and they're just these little teeny little wormy things that are just crawling everywhere, but they're so small. And that's, for now, all I have to say about that for a minute. That's a big topic.
Well, this is humanity, what we've been doing since the Tartarian time, the 1800s.
Yeah.
And this is when they used to listen to spirit, and they flipped over something dramatic happened, and they had to wipe a lot out. Or maybe they didn't wipe anyone out. Maybe they just went to a higher. This look, some stuff has been coming out that they do, and they take over the sense of you, and depending on how much they take over the host is pretty full on. We have footage of a spider completely consumed by like a Gregarian knot, like Mila's background inside a spider.
Yeah.
And the spider,
Seen praying
oh my
mantis.
gosh, the whole thing, and that is some of us as well. So you literally are like a zombie. These things are completely consumed you. So if you can heal yourself, like the dog prophecy, if you can do what the animals do and they use the plants before them, which are weeds, the word weed, it's been very good because they've confused us with the word wedding, and wedding is the marrying of the two. And they've gone, okay, well, let's split man and female up. It's not the wedding of two. You follow the line of the wedding finger and it goes, this is the meridian, goes straight to your spleen. It's the wedding of
Yeah.
you. You start to play all those songs that you hear and stop making it about your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend and start making it about you and your spirit. Wow.
Yeah.
And this is us. We have to remember the Roadrunner and the Coyote. You can't listen to their Coyote show or their Roadrunner show. You've got to use yours and find the sore spots in you and deal with them. And the best ways to deal with them are before you in the lands that you live. Like Mila always talks about mullein leaf or lamb's ear.
Yeah.
It's there to assist them there. And we have plants here to assist us. And it is, Mila, you keeping that book, I totally understand, because to analyze what plants to eat is a job here in Australia. It is hard
Yeah.
because they've given them so many different names to confuse us. So we'd stop using them.
Yeah.
In Australia, they spray everything so that you can't,
Yeah.
and they call them weeds, so everyone hates them.
Yeah.
Got to get rid of that
Yeah. But if they
weed.
let them be what they are.
Yeah.
Like dandelion. Dandelion is one of the most prolific, at least in this part of the world. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but it's everywhere. And there's laws against it, you having them in your yard and this whole thing. But it's all about uh, the dandelion in itself. Let's say you don't even use it, like you don't eat it or make tea or anything out of it. That just growing in your yard, it grows usually on the most packed down soil, and it's a natural irrigation of the land. After dandelion comes and grows for a little while, then trees can come, other flowers can come, like it comes and creates, it's a balance keeper. And then on top, and that's why I think usually there's so many more of them in like people's yards, because that's really packed down, kind of area, or like the fields where the horses graze and
It's
stuff,
so cute. It's like they
but
bring their friends. This is what the forests do. They bring their friends. This is why they say go
yeah,
into the forest, because you're the tree's friend. And Mila and I have done tree shows because
yeah.
people, I mean, I've been seeing on the media where they got the tree
Oh,
touching them and stuff. And we've been talking about that. Go and sit with a tree and you'll
yeah,
feel it. You can feel it. And you feel stories come through you and feelings and emotions come through you. This is what we're talking about. And it's actually
yeah,
a form of intelligence. It's not IQ.
right,
IQ means, it's so obvious. It makes me laugh. I'm not laughing at people, I'm laughing at myself. IQ is the rowing of visions. So an IQ means you have to give rows of visions. It's television. It's a
all right,
film.
right, yeah, it's my
Yeah. So it's
stories.
another vision. Click. Give them another imagine,
Yeah,
imagine. Give them another imagine. Give them another one. So we can keep them over here. But
Yeah.
you can't have a great Coyote and Roadrunner show with just the Coyote. It's what? Who's he gonna? Who's
Right.
he gonna? You gotta have the
I
two.
remember them trying. They had an episode or two where it failed miserably, where he was just being an intelligent
Yeah.
inventor, and it's like no one
No,
watched it.
because you need the contrast to see one sees the other and the other sees the other, and
Yeah.
so it's really been over
And
here,
he would always say,
huh? Sorry,
sorry, I got excuse me, I got excited.
what did you say?
I said, and he always said, Wile E.
Yeah,
Coyote, expert genius, and like he, to me, in that young age, what it feels like now to be in the company of an actively participating narcissist. You know what I mean? Like there's like this unsavory aspect of that. It's like, oh yeah, huh? But there's an unraveling of it that, I love the Acme. I love that. I was obsessed with that company. I wanted to see their catalog because you could order anything that's any random thing.
Mila, what
But
happens, right? If you now think of the Roadrunner, who's always been the little cute guy, right? Maybe
yeah,
he's the one that knew everything. And the
yeah,
Coyote's had his tail nipped off. And he's not getting the whole show, so he keeps beating his head against the brick wall. So
right.
now he's got his tail to tell the markers of him. And now he understands the Coyote's role. And now he understands the show. Do you
Right.
get what I'm sort of trying to get at? Like it really has been one-sided over here, and now you're going to get an influx, and this could be from the solar flares, of this other energy. And this is what happened to
Yeah.
me. I'm going to give an example. When I met Richard, I kept saying, oh, Richard's like my opposite. Richard's like my opposite. And then I realized that he's the first person in my life, really, that was positive. But he wasn't positive in a positive way. He was positive in an honest way, which felt wrong.
Yeah.
It felt wrong because I was like, he was so honest and truthful and in confidence of what he was saying. It felt like he was arrogant sometimes. It felt like he was, and he was the true version of himself with me. So then I could be the true version of myself with him. So it wasn't this
Yeah.
stupid lie going on of making everyone feel comfortable and making everyone. So then all my other associates in my life, including family members, started to just disappear because they were in
Yeah.
such a hold of the negativity, the sad story, the old story, the wounds, blah, 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 blah. And then I've got truth over here. And I was like, I'm going to go with that. And
Yeah.
that's what the other thing that happens to a lot of us is people start to disappear in your life.
Right.
And they don't disappear in a bad way. They just drift. It's like the planets, like your alignment, you're the planet and you're the star, and they just drift. But there's so much
Yeah.
new positive energy over here that there's no sad time.
Hmm.
Are you getting what I'm sort of, am I going off on
Yeah,
a
I do. I
spin?
do. Well, I think that's all we do is
Yeah.
spin but in a good way. Like I was thinking about that before we started our show today. It's like, you know, every other time I think until today, I've come to the show thinking, okay, let's try to talk about this. It doesn't ever work out. We never do. If we start it, then it's like real forced. And then then you could see when we just let go of the reins and just flow. Cause then it's like everybody kind of relaxes or something. But you never know what we're going to talk about. However, we know whatever is supposed to come through will. And so far, we've been really kind of like rotating around a couple of different themes. And one of them that didn't really get touched all the way, we just kind of grazed it, um, was this thing about this imploding time, how time is unraveling itself, unbecoming. And the undoing of time isn't that exactly what it seems like if you look at some sci-fi examples of what the story might come out like if they try to write the story, when what it's like is we're having time slippages and we're actually merging and closing timelines. Like those of you who follow the Schuman, one of the things that's been pretty consistent is that every time that there's a big break, that's a timeline. We just did two more, and look, we're still in a blackout. So yesterday, whoops, oh darn it. Hold on, let me grab it again. It's not going to show it, is it? It's kind of showing it. You see just above my finger here, there's a strip. That's another timeline jump that we did. That would have been, oh gosh, probably almost exactly 24 hours ago. So it might have been about the time we were in the meeting yesterday, when the timeline, and we were talking about timelines back then and the pillars and the ones
So
and all that stuff.
so this timeline's great because maybe we needed to speak of the other stuff first to support,
Yeah.
because your world, you got to remember back jumps of the markers of you, and you go, oh, I remember how that felt, and it can feel scary, but you got to understand there is a way through this, right? Or a way to support you through this. So you need to know there's herbs, you need to know there's methods of healing, there's people you can do sessions with, there's groups you can go in, there's support for you. We have all, ones similar to Mila and Dr. Joe and others, spiritual people around the, they knew this time was coming and they have been preparing all the way along. Be kind. They've been through a lot, these people. Have manners. Manners maketh man. Having manners releases the narcissist, the cysts, the tar cysts in us. And be kind, be supportive. These people, a lot of these people have had no money for a long time. They need your support, because if you don't look after them, they won't show up for you. You be kind. You show your subscriptions. You support them through this time of quietening them in a dramatic way. And you show the others, the consumer ones, that enough's enough. You don't need to consume. You just need to be. The word human and man is werewolf. It's be, which is anu, your head, and the wolf below. It's time to remember the tell of us. It's neck. Neck. Right. It's here, Mila. It's exactly how you said. We have to remember the tells of us. Some will be able to remember many tells going way back before man began. Some will only remember right now, and there is no right or wrong way. We're all here for a purpose. But this consumerism, these numbers, this lack is unnecessary, and it's feeding them, makes you weak. If you're feeling weak, find the weak spots in you and deal with them. You have everything in you right now to deal with them. And if you don't know how to deal with them, find the ones like Mila, like Dr. Joe, find the ones that know how to deal with this. So that when you deal is to all. It's to all. To deal a deck of cards is you see all the players. You just don't get to see all the cards at once because you're all the players. Yeah. So sometimes you'll work out this
And to or is to spin. It's like rowing,
Yeah,
right?
and everyone gets a
And what
turn. You know, it's
what is the rowing boat? Row, 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 boat gently down the street. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream.
it is a dream, and they can't prove the difference between a dream, a memory, an image, or real life. with all
Yeah.
their technology, they can't prove any of that. So,
Which has led people to say they've proven that it's a matrix or program.
uh-huh,
We're in a simulation.
yeah. So that means pretty much everything you've been fed and consumed and digested could maybe be a different, it could be a Roadrunner or a Coyote. It just depends on what
Yeah.
you've,
Right.
yeah. So this is where someone like Mila and I, where we're able to, and Mila's great because Mila brings a platform for ones like us to come together and be open and share and show how crazy it is. But when Mila and I one-on-one, oh my gosh, you'd have to say it's at least 100 times faster, right?
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
can't
yeah.
write it down.
No, I've tried. I've given up a long time ago. I take notes, and they're like chicken
Yeah,
scratches basically because I'm like in such a hurry to try to.
yeah. I feel like when Mila and I are just on our own together, and Maddie always comes in, and she does
Yeah,
a
she always does.
flyby.
Yeah,
And she'll have some great intel, and one of our kids might come in with a feather, or they just fell off the horse, or something will happen, and
we were on a call when the boat was sinking.
oh, I know.
That was when we were on the call. You were
What?
like, "I gotta go. The boat's sinking," and then you're just
Oh.
gone, and we're like, "Wait,
Yeah.
what?"
Yeah, I've had, yeah, it's like intense, 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 intense. Then we take all that information. Then Mila's in the lands of arcs, and I'm in Oz, and then it manifests in our reality. And then we come back the next
Mhm.
time, and it's like 1,000 times versions of that. And that's what happened with Odin.
Yeah.
And so we're now like pulling out threads or pulling out memories and markers and going, okay, how can I use this now? And so when I first met Mila, I said, we're in play. And it felt silly. And people said it's silly
Yeah.
and you're in jest and how can that be real? And I understand now that when I'm too serious or science, I make sure when I'm in that mode, who's the info coming from?
Yeah. Okay.
Come
Sorry,
on.
I got it. Dr. Joe said, "What's on the cards today?" And it just made I'm like, "I'll pull a card for Dr. Joe. What the heck?" Oh, it's not gonna let you see it. You can see the picture. It's Wolf.
No. Really? It's Wolf. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, he's howling.
yeah.
He's got
There's Wolf.
he's got a star and he's howling. He's got one, is it 2 feathers?
Yeah, it's 2 feathers and then 2 claws and a sea star and a bone and a bead above that.
Yeah, so he's
And it's number 15.
really 15.
Yeah.
Are you getting that?
Yeah.
Sorry, 15. So I turned 51 and it's 15. All right, so the wolf. So this is one. Okay, see how the wolf was on the card, Mila? I've noticed
Mhm.
this one, and this one's to help thyroid here. And this is actually one of the symptoms from the little guys inside us is thyroid. I noticed Mila drew alien aerobics exercises once, and this I think was one of them where you stretch your neck up and look at the stars.
Yeah.
What it does is it cracks. You can feel it, all the cracking of all the, I don't know, muscles in the back of your neck. You have to do it. I have to do
Yeah.
it slowly because it hurt. It can pinch sometimes. Stretch up and look at the stars, and then keep tilting your head from side, and then spin your head around, and then spin your head the other way. I've got a feeling this will help. A lot of people are holding their necks incorrectly, Actually, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, yesterday at the horse people, this is what they were saying with the horse. They said they had a horse. Oh my gosh, they had a horse osteopath there who works on humans, which I loved. And they had this 17-hand horse. If you've ever stood next to one, they are like elephants. And she put her finger on the neck of the horse. She said, "Watch this. Watch how out of alignment this horse is." She put her finger here and she put her finger on its rear, and this horse is stomping like an elephant. He's not comfortable at all. He's actually agitated. And she did this. She put her finger and then she said, "Wait for it, wait for it." And then he leaned up and straightened up, drops his head down, and can take a big breath.
Wow.
And it was all
Cool.
because his spine was out of alignment. And I've got a feeling that's because we had Dr. Joe pull a card. I'm showing how
Yeah.
crazy we are. Dr. Joe pull a card. Mila pulls a card. It's wolf. It's 15. And now the neck goes up to tell how to.
And he's howling,
Yeah.
laughing.
Yeah. Well, okay. So everyone's going to start howling. Gemma always says, "Mom, you're not going to make people howl and stuff at the full moon, are you?" I'll have to text her today and go, "I've just told everyone to start howling." No, but so
And then Jerry says, "Heads up, starfish."
yeah,
Heads up.
heads up. Look at where you came from. Be selfish. Starfish. Fish is Jesus. Look up to the
Right.
heavens. Stretch off, and you can feel it. I can hear it in my head go. All the little
Yeah.
and stretch up. I even saw a post somewhere, they called it the Facebook spine because you watch what people look like when they walk around. Everyone's out of alignment. How do you?
Oh, yeah, Facebook's fine. I put that post
Oh, was
up. I
that
did
you?
that
Oh,
one too.
I kept that one because
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. How do you?
Yeah, it looks like an F from the side because they're leaned like
Yeah,
this. They're like they're looking down,
but
holding their outstretched
you're squishing your
phone.
ribs, so you're not breathing. You're like
Yeah.
this horse. And what happens with the horse when his neck is up or when you're up out of alignment is you hear about this in yoga. You hear Dr. Joe talk about it. It's about taking that deep breath. You're shortening your life
Yeah.
because your breaths
Right.
become shorter. So you're not actually getting the full breath. You're not getting the whole show of you because you're shortening it and you're squishing time.
Exactly.
So when this horse dropped its head, it started to breathe deeper and then it got calmer. So instead of it stomping its feet, it was calmer. The osteopath she could squat down to her bag and not get stomped on. There is no way she would have done that 20 minutes ago.
Right.
No way.
Right.
None. And it was just purely by her touching here and here. And this is for us. Stretch up here. And it actually hurts me to stretch up. And I can feel it. And
Right.
I think Jerry said, "Mum, this helps reduce lines here when you do this."
This is the second time Fenrir came up that goes along with it.
You agree?
Just to go with what you're saying,
Yeah.
I didn't mean. I just want to draw
I
your
remember
the
that
comment
name.
as
I
well.
can't remember.
It's the this massive wolf that they kind of use him in one of the examples of the Hobbit series movies. The guy that kind of changed from this massive great wolf to like a anywhere between 9 and 15-foot man
Well, they have this.
in the daytime.
This is the same as the indigenous culture. They call it the giant devil dog.
Skinwalker. Oh, right.
Yeah, giant devil dog used to scare. That was one of my biggest fears, the giant devil dog. And the kids showed me a picture. They said, "Mum, have you seen this man wolf or man fox?" And it looks like
Yeah.
it looks like a werewolf. He's extra tall, like he's like a stretched version of a fox. So it's
Wow.
coming
Yeah.
out. It really is. All this is coming out. This Coyote and Roadrunner story that we're talking about now. It'll be interesting in time to see how long it takes for energies to be able to handle it So it'll be a fun game now for us and the witnesses in the audience to see how long this takes to come about.
Yeah.
To be digested in a way that actually helps humanity. So
Right.
we're treating it as a game. Oh, horse throat.
Right. Yeah.
He's good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to, whatever he has for breakfast, I'm gonna have to find out because he's on fire today.
Oh yeah, and that was called that person is called Remus Lupin in Harry Potter is also an example of this. And what's really weird is you said some of the animals that I pulled. I was noticing in the audience, our lovely friend Sherry here, and she says, "Ah, all those streams, Indian story, which wolf are you feeding?" Yeah, well, it happens to be Miss Sherry's birthday, so I gotta say happy birthday to you. And though I won't be able to sit here and read to you, I did pull 4 cards for her specifically. And so I got the blue heron. We got the blue heron is an introspection and reflection, which is 45. She also got the mountain lion, which is leadership. That's 17. And then you got the fox, which is 25, and the fox is camouflage. So the ability to camouflage and kind of blend into your environment. And then we also got hawk. Hawk came. Hawk is number 2. Hawk is the messenger. Hawk is messenger from bringing heaven to earth. So you're being asked to step into your role. There's a lot of introspection and aloneness kind of stuff that you're going to do as you blend into and away from some whatever it is that you're leaving behind, and be someone who can bring forward the messages, because you're being asked to step into a leadership role as well with this new reconnected knowledge base that you already have within you. So happy birthday, Miss Sherry. I love you.
Oh, so you have the Ben bird, which is the peak of the pyramid. So we're going straight to the high, the point. It's the great meteor. Then you have the high lion, so high alignment. So alignment is loyalty and courage and be brave. And then you have the fox is to hide. It comes back to Coyote. The hide is hiding in us, meaning we're dog. And then hawk. Little hawk is the messenger. It's Taurus. It's her eyes in. It's to see. You have to share the message, you have to be able to see it. Otherwise, there's no message. And her name is Sherry Kitchen. So this is so cute. Yep. So she's spirit in the cooking. Oh, I know spirit cooking has a bad rap to it as well, but I'm not talking about it like that. I'm talking about it as, when I think of kitchen, I think of a place of love, because you're cooking food for the loved ones.
Yeah. Well, the cauldron is the symbol because the witches are cooking cayenne and black pepper, and they're using things that medicinal. We're not eye of new. What the heck? Why would you put an eyeball in there?
Did she just spit? Did she spit in the cauldron?
Right. Oh, I wanted to ask you something. Oh, you were in the middle of something.
No. So I'm just saying with this fast food, they've taken out the love, literally. Yeah. So when you prepare food and you use all the real ingredients, not the manipulated, you don't actually eat as much. With medicine.
Just showing this for Sherry. She asked me what they are. It's actually mirrored. It's medicine cards. That's what this book. I just don't usually use the cards as much as I do the book.
The book, you're going to have to get that noise coming on when the book comes up every single time, and then you have to blow it and all this dust. I love sound special
Needs to be
effects.
big, like one of those.
Yeah, and all cobwebs fly out, and you got a bird fly past.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with the cards are speaking what we're speaking.
Yeah.
Like it's and you know who else I have to mention is Sita. Sita is when I was
I just clicked on
when
her.
I was I hope this is okay, Sita. Sita is amazing. She's in the UK, and she's just a lovely person, and I've done a lot of sessions with Sita, and she's a lovely person, beautiful family. And when I was working out what millet was after humiliation, I worked out what millet was, and it was brought through by the horses, which are freedom. The neighbor rang me, whose name was Mark, said, Marcus says to me, get your horses out of my paddock because that's poisonous grass. And I went, our horses aren't going to
Yeah.
eat poison. They're not stupid. Anyway, he said, yes, it's sitara grass. And I went, what did you say? It's sitara grass. I look up what sitara is. Sitara is foxtail, oxtail, millet. It's the
Yeah.
second main ingredient in Indian food. It is the original flour before they changed it by the Romans.
Right.
Why did they change it? Because they wanted it to have glue ones. Gluten.
Yeah.
Gluten, which is Odin, glue ones. Are you getting this, Mila?
I am. You're giving me a lot more color too.
So gluten is how they make bedrooms in us. They embody in us. So then they block up our spleen, they block up over here, they create menopause. There's no such thing as menopause.
Yep.
It's created.
Right.
I know because I've done many sessions with people and they were in menopause and then it came back.
Yeah. Yeah. I've talked to a lot of people who've done that
Yeah,
too.
and it's nothing.
And
It's just
at first it scares
yeah,
them
because they were like,
because they're like, why am I bleeding?
yeah. Or because what they're doing is well, there's a lot of research to support all this, and it's very hard to diagnose each thing because it's so dramatic what they've done. But when you start to realize millet is the original flour, it actually has parasitical, it assists you. So now you know.
It's 333.
So you know why 333. So now I've spoke about mil et. So it's mil et. These names are not here for no reason. That's what I'm saying, Miller. Like it's
Yeah.
sita. Sita. It's called sita. If you're eating
Right.
millet or foxtail millet and you're not eating the gluten flour, you will see tar. You see up there. You see the emus. You see the stars.
Right.
You yeah. So you remember who you are.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's through by us digestion. And you can't do it all at once either because you'll
And
throw your body into shock. So if you've listened to us for the first time, don't go and do all this at once. Be kind to yourself and take it easy
yeah.
and trial and error a little bit at a time so you know how to support, because a lot of this stuff can send your body into shock. And then it will, you
Right.
know how they say 2 steps forward or 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It can, just take it easy because we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. 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 We have. And we watch every age group. We watch all of this stuff that's unfolded over the many decades that we've been in this too. It's to us, we're people. I think everyone's kind of getting used to it, but just there's this alarm, this concern that happens because we've been tricked. We've been conditioned to go that way. In fact, that was something Elsa and I were talking about privately recently. It's private about me, so I feel okay to share it, is that um, I was having some weird electric body stuff. And it was like, I've been conditioned to be concerned that this had something to do with, like, a cardiac distress of some kind or something, and not going to the fear in those moments is hard, is what I'm saying. Even someone who knows very well that these are ascension symptoms, like myself, there's still those moments, and so I'm just going to say this too, is it's not a disclaimer, it's a general suggestion. If it makes you feel more comfortable to see a doctor, for them to tell you that you're fine, but you should take their medication anyway. um, use your own discernment, and by all means, I got tired of going, and they actually ended up putting me in their, like, national registry or whatever. I don't know if it's national, it might have been just state or local, but as a drug seeker, because I was going back. So I had insurance, and I was going back often enough that, and every time I would go, they would say, you're healthier than you've ever been. I was never filling the prescriptions. They would always say, you should take this. And I would say, thank you. Like, I know how to hang out with narcissists. You don't have to be rude and say, no, I'm not taking that. It's like, okay, thank you. And then you just never fill your prescription. They started changing it. Now they just call it in. So then the pharmacy calls you and says, your prescription's ready. And you're like, oh, I'm not going to take that. But anyway, they didn't know I wasn't taking it. So they marked me as a drug seeker, because I would go back so often, because I was learning to pull away from the fear of it. That's that spell casting. Elsa, you were just talking about how the etymology of words, and one of the first things that we do in school when we're learning to read there, that they bring up Latin. Everything has a Latin base. This is all, this is the foundation of what they teach us. Did you know that not very long ago, anybody who was dyslexic would be immediately counted as a shaman, and they'd start raising you as such, as a medicine man or a medicine woman. And they are able to see beyond in ways. And the fact that Elsa breaks words apart the way that you can, has a lot to do with that superpower. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people. It's surprising how many starseeds have some type of dyslexia. It's something that's really, it's even coded in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, the demigod, is that
Well,
his dyslexia was because he could speak Greek, ancient Greek, is what they were saying.
wow. So, Can is Cane, Can is Canary Islands, Can is the dog star, Can is cane, and it's to be able to read. To be able to read is your spine. It goes up, comes down. It's like a flute, and it's the music of you. It's the moves I see of you. Sometimes it will cause electrical palpitations in you. Palpitations is pup. It's remembering you of the puppy of you. I know dog has been given a bad name. The female version is beach, which means to be sure. It's so cute, all these words. We have 3 puppies at the moment, and they're so healthy.
Good.
We went through a really hard time with the last litter. We lost all of them, 14 puppies.
Yeah.
And I saw into the eyes. I felt every breath of them, and they were only here for a month exactly. And they passed on the summer solstice here, which was your winter solstice. We're coming up to the solstice. It is paused. It's stalled sun. Things feel like they're a bit stalled, like they're not getting progress. It's all happening.
Yeah.
It's all working. We were warned as a message that when the first sun returns, abundance will come to all. And this is what we're seeing now: is abundance is coming. It's just coming in ways that you're not used to. That's all.
Yeah.
And coming in abundance can be meaning crossing paths with someone that can assist you, like someone like Mila. And I'm very grateful for you, Mila. And I'm grateful that you share, because people ask, how do we get disclosure? How do we meet ETs? And it's through being able to listen open-mindedly and with manners to others that can help you. And then acknowledging, appreciating, and then taking these gifts and working into your way, that you walk your tell.
Yeah.
And Mila has been very supportive of my tell, and I'm grateful. Thank you, Mila. I really am. I'm really grateful for it, and I needed to say it out loud before the solstice. So,
Oh,
yeah,
thank you. I'm
yeah,
very sorry.
I feel like it's a shaft in the ground going, that's
Yeah.
like Nanny McPhee, like bang.
We just watched that for the first time recently.
Yeah. Well, it's all these movies will start to have little things in them for you, little messages, and you'll see new things in things, and you'll see the programs they just are drifting away. I'm seeing kindness in others. I'm
Yeah.
seeing so much more kindness in others. Um, I'm seeing ones are in the streets and stuff feel
Yeah.
more comfortable around me. Many people couldn't be around me. It felt very alone for a while. I'm sure many of you who are like seers or people that get messages and stuff, it's been lonely for us. So we're kind of all smiling because we're like, oh, everyone's coming around.
Yeah. Yeah. And that transition's happening a lot still. Like we're going to notice. So we went through this hermiting phase and we're still kind of semi-hermited, but there's a bunch of people who are re-emerging and being like, you know what, I'm kind of done being on the bridge. We're on the other side now. And so there's a lot of that's something that we should probably talk about, or at least just bring up. We have a few more minutes. We've been on for almost 2 hours.
Oh, really?
I know,
Wow.
I know.
Closing
It's
away.
3:43. Um, love you too, Dr. Joe. Hey, Dr. Joe, I'm gonna say it out loud publicly because we should all us three do a show together. Dr. Joe, Elsa, and I at some point. That
Oh,
would be so much fun.
that will be fun. That
Yeah,
would be a really fun day. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
that
then
would be
you'll have Dr. Joe and then Mila on one side.
that would be a blast. I think that would
We
be a
might have
fun
to play that show in slow mo.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot. And to line up this particular window for the solstice that we're in, I just wanted to bring this up too, is that um I don't usually put a lot of stock in this particular solstice. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it sounds silly of me for somebody who does what I do to say this, but honestly, I forget about this solstice a lot in my life. This is the one that it can be, you remember it like last minute, you're like, oh wait, that's tomorrow, kind of thing. But um this one I've been waiting for a long time, and more is piling up on it. The amount of stuff we just got, a really big X class flare.
Another
And
one, really?
yep, and that's expected to make impact on the solstice. Um, and
Wow.
then,
Well,
sorry,
sorry.
I'm
No,
just
I'm
gonna
just
add.
saying.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
keep
Go ahead.
going.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, well, I can't forget about the solstice because Jack is born on the June solstice and Jet is the December.
Awesome.
So I got the solstice suns. I'm like, really? Why does
Yeah.
everything have to be so full? Why can't they just be? But so you said we're going to Hermit. Solstice is Hermit coming. It's the crab.
Mhm. Right.
You-
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all about home. Home.
Right.
Yeah. But the home isn't over there, or it isn't that big house on the hill. It's on you. That's what Pharaoh means. It's great home.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he says
love I,
Deathrow. He's gonna do it. Yay.
I love crab because I always think of crab of Nemo, where they're going,
Yeah.
mine, mine. No, well, that's the seagulls. No,
No,
but
that's
they're
a seagull.
underneath. They're going like
It's the
this.
bubbles. He's obsessed with the bubbles. Yep.
Sorry, keep
Yeah.
going about the solstice because on the solstice there's quite a few things coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a triple conjunction. Today there's the lunar conjunction of Neptune, so we have the moon, which is, Artemis, and then Neptune, which is a whole different rabbit hole that I'm surprised we didn't jump down. Where is that book? I
And I
have
know you
like
said there's a Kazemi. There's a Kazemi in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a Kazemi. I just barely noticed another code that I wanted to have the answer to for really quickly. Neptune is Poseidon, Enki, Num. Depending on where you look, it's also EA for Mesopotamia or Sumer
When
is
does
what
that one come? Because
Neptune, not today, right now.
that's neck. That's Enek.
It's
Enoch.
now. Neck.
En
Neck.
yeah, yeah, it's neck. Enoch. Enoch is a big one through all the spiritual groups. So now I'm going to be classed as another dark one again. But anyway, whichever angle you want to come at this, I'm okay with both angles. I'm the Roadrunner and the other one. So Enoch, I think Enoch and Enoch relate to the Bible or relates to Anunnaki, but Enoch is Enek
Yeah.
and neck. And maybe we had to learn all that of all those other ones, all those other realms to get back to here
Right.
and knock, look up the card, Mila's card. The doctor said to look at the cards.
Yeah. And I follow. I said, okay. There's also tomorrow is Juneteenth, the triple conjunction of Moon, Saturn, and Neptune. Neptune again. So Neptune stays conjunct with the Moon, and then Saturn joins. And what is Saturn? Right? You're with this time, right?
It's
Saturn
Saturn
is
is
Chronos.
Saturn
Saturn's
is the whole circle, the biting of the tail.
which is
So
never
by us stretching up, you're straightening your spine and you're remembering all the way down. You're giving it a clean channel, or the stem of us. So it'll go like a shaft. Wow, Mila.
It's a big one. We're not,
That's a big
like,
one.
look, Dr. Joe's like, I'm going to Glastonbury for a solstice. Feels big. It feels so big. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I know. It doesn't even fit on my screen. It's got
Triquestra. It's probably got a rolled tongue. My tongue rarely wants to roll. My whole life it's been a thing.
Yeah.
I can't do that very well. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot going on that big particular day. It's so cool he's going to be in Glastonbury for that. So this triple conjunctions is this particular day, the 19th, the day before solstice, tomorrow is a pretty impactful day for a lot of different reasons, but it's also the closing of many cycles, including most of these cycles are including the closing of cycles from 2020 very specifically. I think this is so super exciting. And then you go into the solstice, which is 2:42 UTC time. I'm going to take this to do a quick advertisement, not anything, but like I'm doing a meditation on solstice, by the way. And we're starting the meeting an hour and 12 minutes before solstice is officially started. So that's 9:42 p.m. Central Standard Time was when the solstice starts. So it'll be at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time when we start that particular group. Just so you guys know, the love donations are always welcome. Then the day after, oh, excuse me, and then that day on the solstice, Guardian's actually joining me too, for the show. So that's going to be really cool. And then the 21st, we have a grand trine. We have a grand trine between Pluto, Mercury, and Mars. And in between the 20th and the 21st, we're expecting, which is the solstice, and then the day leading into the next day of after solstice, we're expected to be getting the impact at that time of this big or excuse me, I don't know why I said six, this big X class flare. And so it's going to be a lot of like closing of energy and reopening of stuff, because then on Sunday the 22nd, there's another lunar conjunction. This one's of Venus, and so this moon conjunction of Venus is also at the same time. The moon is going to be this 27-day-old moon, so that's 369s. It's waning crescent, so it's going to be super like little piece of it will be lined up with the seven sisters, and in Taurus. Then on the 24th, it's a Jupiter Kazemi. So then you have Jupiter involved in the story, and of course we always love our Kazimis. What's more though, Elsa, is that back on the 11th is when we had the micro strawberry moon. That was the full moon that we had. But suddenly, within only a 2-week window, all of a sudden it's a super moon. So the 25th is a super new moon, but it was a micro moon just 2 weeks ago. The way that's very uncommon, super uncommon.
Well, that's it stretches us because it's like this gravitational, yeah, like your rubber band sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it might feel a bit like that. We feel a little bit like stalled, like a couple of family members, especially Ginger, the electric one. She's been blowing up this stuff. She's been dancing in her room, and things are blowing up in her room. We're all like, stop dancing. It's too much. She's blown up a fan. She's blown up power boards. And she's saying, I feel like I've got a lot to do, but I'm not getting through it. And I said, I feel this too. And this is very common for the solstice phase. And again, on different hemispheres, it might be the reverse. But yeah, just with these phases, just take it easy. Like you might get surges of energy as the solar flares come through, but then make sure you have the downtime as well to support your system. Because I know that they want you to be in week 9 to 5, but it's impossible when we're connected to the stars. This is impossible to behave like this. You need to have ebbs and flows. You might have electric shocks. And talk to someone, talk to others that understand. They might be having an electric shock. Mila's having electric palpitations. So are a couple of our family members. So Mila and I can talk, share, debrief, and go, oh, and did you have it at this time? Yeah, I had it at that time. And like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And then,
valid. You're like, okay, good.
Yeah. And then you take this whole head fear, which creates more pain in your body than is necessary. And it just goes, all right, I'm going to put that over there now.
Right. Well, and usually when it has to do with the heart, the problem with that is we initiate the fear, so the heart starts to beat quickly, and then that's when usually you check your heart. You're like, oh, and I have like my heart's beating. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're freaking yourself out, kid.
Well, that's what that horse was doing. The horse was freaking itself out because it's not getting enough oxygen because it's in panic. Yeah. As soon as you start to do like Dr. Joe says, calm down, you do that osteo pressure points, you relax the horse. Now the horse is breathing. He's not stomping his feet anymore.
Yeah.
This is in less than 20 minutes from just doing this and this with his finger. Amazing.
Right. And this is all about the reset, reboot, renew, anew. And guess what is on that super moon on the 25th, there it's in still the Jupiter solar conjunction, the Jupiter Kazemi, and Jupiter is Anu, Anu is Jupiter, the god of the gods.
The god of the gods, which is us. So the 25th of June is when Mila told me about Odin. I'm positive it was then. If not, that's when it manifested for me. 25th of June. So I always knew that when 25th of June kicked in, now watch out because Odin's coming in. So that's it. It shifts from all the mother energy at the beginning of the year, Mata, and now it goes into Odin with the sons.
Yep. I feel the same way. I love this conversation. It feels like the 25th of June is very important and it's very masculine. It's so fun to have someone else say that first.
Well, this is when the Draco came through. We got 3 white ducks on the 25th of June. This is when I got the message of the 2 sons rest home. And when I heard this message for the first time, I was like, oh, because Jack wasn't home then. I thought, oh, is he coming back in spirit or is he coming back in this realm? And it wasn't until I let go and went, however he comes back, whether it's in spirit or this. I kid you not, after the 25th of June, I was trying to get a video out, Mila, so that he could see it if he was still alive, right?
Yeah.
The 25th of June was when I got the video out, and I was so sad because I had missed his birthday, and I felt like I had failed his spirit or his soul, whichever one it was. I kid you not, the next day or 24 hours, I got a message that he was alive.
Wow.
And we had nothing up until this point. I'm just saying,
years at that point, right?
It's been years. Yeah, years, nothing. And and then after that, then it had to do the cooking in the kitchen, like Sherry, the spirit.
Right.
It started cooking. Odin starts cooking. This is how it happens. Odin kicks in big time in June, so you might have to take a little nap here and there through the day because he's big. And then it starts cooking and it starts working its way in. And this is what I've noticed with what happened with you shifting. It started going bang, bang, like Odin, like the hooded one comes out from hiding and this is going to happen. Something, a surprise in action happens that was ready now to happen.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Like before you knew it, you were shifting.
Yeah.
Then before you knew it, you were only meant to be there for a while, and then they took you to here. And then they went, no, now we're going to put you here.
Yeah.
And it was quick too, Mila. It wasn't.
It was. We're it feels like we're just stopping now and realizing that where we are. Like in a lot of ways, only the past few months have we really moved in. Even like there's been this temporary or impermanence to being here, and that just changed, dramatically. But that's going to get me into a whole different topic, and I had to wrap this up soon so I can have I got to make food and stuff for my kid before we do the group, which we're going to do in an hour. So we should probably wrap this up. I don't want to. It feels like we just got started. I have so much to talk about. Also, we ought to do more regular shows. I'm serious. I know it happens the way it's supposed to, but was there anything that you missed that you wanted to add before we kind of close this show up? I know it's kind of an abrupt stop, but it's been 2 hours.
I know. So it's like the up here is having so much fun, but my butt's going, ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
I
guess that's part of that's part of your spine. So yeah, it's all great to be up here, but you've got to remember all here. So yeah. If you do stretch your neck up and you're howling, send us a text because I want to send Gemma a text going, look, there's 100 people howling.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Mila. It was fun.
Thank you very much. It was, yeah, me too. That's always such a blast. Just for those of you listening, there's a lot of energy happening right now. We got a X flare, we got a lot of stuff. Just be in, your own energy as much as you can. There's a lot of different things you can do, but to take your time is the best thing that you can do. And I feel like that's the only use of time that's really intended right now, is for you to take it, and to slow down. So, um, and again, just once more, we're going to do a group meditation on the night of solstice for the northern hemisphere. Where I am at, it'll be around 9:30 that we're going to be in meditation. So we'll start the group an hour before that in Central Time. So I'll put a post out for y'all for that. Though in the meantime, I'll see you guys in an hour. If those of you who are joining our free group Zoom meeting that we do every week on Wednesdays, it's going to start in 59 minutes, and that usually goes for about 2 hours. Or if there's somebody there that I know well enough, I'll give them host when I need to leave. And so I've heard of people talking for an additional 5 hours after I've left. So I know. So if that's something you want to join in on, you're welcome to. The link is in the comments or the community section of the YouTube channel, as well as in the Telegram group. And if you want to be part of the Telegram group and aren't, it's free, and the link to that is in the description of this video also. So thank you, Elsa, very much. This was a blast. Love you all. Happy solstice, almost.